today we are looking at algebraic expressions. An algebraic expression is a combination of variables, which are letters and numbers. The terms are the things that are separated by addition or subtraction. The coefficients are the numbers that are being multiplied in front of variables or in just constants that are by themselves. So if we have this expression, 3x squared minus x plus 5. The terms are 3x squared, negative x, and 5. The coefficients are 3, negative 1, and 5. So, do you have this slide in your notes? No. Okay. Well, then you don't need to write this down, but let's just look at this one together. If we have the expression negative 4x squared plus 7x minus 1, what are the terms? You don't need to write this down, just what are the terms? Negative 4x squared, 7x, negative 1. And what are the coefficients? Negative 4, 7, negative 1. Seems simple enough? All right. I believe you do have this example. Okay. Identify the coefficient of each term. So on your own, pause the video, find the coefficient of each term. Okay. When you have a variable with no coefficient in front of it, there's always a coefficient in front of it. I call those naked variables. You can always make them unnaked by putting the 1 in front of them. Okay. Evaluate the expression. Parentheses are your friend. Everywhere that you see an x, I want you to put parentheses instead of the x. So I just rewrote the expression with parentheses instead of the x. And now we're going to take this negative 1 and place it inside those parentheses. So we are plugging negative 1 in place of each x. If you put parentheses like that, you can then type this exactly as you've written it into your calculator to get the correct answer. As long as it's just parentheses, that goes into your calculator quite easily. There's my calculator. So, nope, I don't want you big. There we go. I've got negative 3 parentheses, negative 1, close my parentheses, squared, minus parentheses, negative 1, close my parentheses, plus 5. If you feel like you're being excessive with parentheses, you're on the right track. You definitely want to feel excessive with parentheses. You should get 3 as your correct answer. If you have a fancy graphing calculator, you can type this in. If you just have a scientific calculator, you will need to use your own brain a little bit. We are still going to use parentheses. So I'm going to put parentheses in place of the x. I'm going to put parentheses in place of the y. X is negative 1, so we're going to put negative 1 there. Y is 4. We're going to put that right there. So negative 1 there, positive 4 there. If you have a scientific calculator, I would recommend that you do all of the stuff that's inside the absolute value bars in your calculator and then write down absolute value of whatever number you get. If you have a graphing calculator, you have to remember the keystroke, and I might add it to our board of common graphing calculator keystrokes, although we really don't use absolute value a whole lot. Alpha, window. So the green alpha button and then the window button, which is the second button underneath the screen, the very first option in that little pop-up menu says ABS. That means absolute value. So if you select that, it gives you the absolute value bars, and then you could type in 2 times parentheses negative 1 minus 3 parentheses 4. And it tells you that the final answer is 14. If you're using a scientific calculator, which is absolutely fine if you're just using a scientific calculator, just do 2 parentheses negative 1 minus 3 parentheses 4. we get negative 14, so that means we have a negative 14 inside the absolute value bars, which the absolute value of negative 14 is 14. So our final answer is 14. Okay, let's do example 3b, because there's a negative in example 3b. The one hint, you need to do the entire top and hit enter, do the entire bottom and hit enter, then do the top number divided by the bottom number. Having an expression in the numerator and an expression in the denominator creates two groups, and you need to do the top group, the bottom group, and then do the division. So give example 3b a try on your own. Parentheses are your friend. So I plugged in my 4 and my negative 2 in everywhere they go. I did the entire top and I got negative 8, or positive 8, sorry. I did the bottom and I got 0. So then I go to my calculator and I do 8 divided by 0. Error, divide by 0. If you're using a scientific calculator, it just says error. You can't divide by 0. One of the number one rules of math is you can't divide by 0. So what do you write? You don't write 0. This does not equal 0. It equals something that we can't compute. So you write undefined. Divided by 0 creates an undefined situation. It's something that we can't even put a number on. It's not definable. It's undefined. Now, if you ended up with 0 on the top, so what if this had been 0 divided by 8? I have 0 cookies in my hand. Do you all agree that there are currently 0 cookies in my hand? I'm going to take these 0 cookies and divide them evenly among all of you. How many cookies are each of you going to get? All of them, all 0 of them. So 0 divided by a bunch is 0. You can do 0 divided by a number. But if I have 2 pens in my hand and I need to divide these pens evenly among 0 groups, where do I put the pens? I go to Hogwarts and make them disappear. We can't do that. So you can't divide by 0, but you can do 0 divided by a number. So 0 on top results in 0. 0 on the bottom results in undefined. If x is the height jumped without the shoes, so we've got however high we jump, and the shoes are going to help us jump 6 inches more. How do you indicate 6 more? Plus 6. This is an expression that represents how high you would jump while wearing the shoes. You can jump 23 inches without the shoes. How high can you jump while wearing the new shoes? 23 plus 6 is 29 inches. We're not going to debate how realistic this is. As far as I'm concerned, if they claim that a certain pair of shoes is going to make you jump 6 inches higher, don't waste your money. It's probably totally false. Or it would be banned in sports because it would be like springs in your shoes or something. All right. Is that it? Woohoo, that's it. And here's your assignment for section 2.1. Notice in numbers 46 through 52, they're giving you x and y values, excuse me, in part A, and x and y values in part B. So they want you to do the problem twice, once with the values from A and once with the values from B. How about you can pick? I'll let you pick A or B for 46 through 52. Does that sound like a good compromise? So in number 46, you can choose to plug in the values from part A, or you can plug in the values from part B. You can pick which of those you want to do. So you will just do one problem each for 46, one for 48, one for 50, and one for 52, instead of 2 for each of those. Make sense? Okay.